check out this beast out here. Yep. 76 Corvette Stingray is sort of running. It's currently looks like it's sitting in a puddle, but it does have some issues. This one hasn't been on the channel in a while. It's kind of been sitting around, tried to get running. When was that? Last weekend, and it ran okay. But it's got starter issues. Once the starter kind of heats up, it just will not cycle again. Let it sit for a while, fired up again. Was like, oh, it's working. But I think it's getting worse, so I think the starter might just be going. So I need to put a starter in this thing. I was trying to tinker around with, see how it would run with, if you've seen previous videos, it's got brake issues. It's just not pulling enough vacuum. I think there's a supercharger under here, but I don't think it's long for the world. Not that there's anything really wrong with it, but kind of long-term plans for this car. Yeah, I'm not really planning on going supercharged. So just trying to mess around with it a little bit before the cold weather got here, and well, it died on me and we had to tow it back. So it's been sitting here for a bit, but since it's here, we're going to get it fixed and we're going to do something with it before the winter gets here. But this video is not really on that maroon red car. It's more on this car. I did just, I should say, I was going to say wash it, but I really didn't wash it. I wet it down a little bit because it was so gross. It's been sitting under, well, actually hasn't. For a very brief period, it was kind of under one of these tall pines I have out here, and unfortunately birds and other things kind of made a mess of it. So I had to rinse it off a little bit just to make it more presentable. But anyway, this is about my Cobalt SS, more specifically 2009 Chevy Cobalt SS. This is the LNF turbo version. And yeah, this is more of a ownership summary on this thing, because I've seen videos of people talking about, oh, things I like, things I dislike, and introductions. And well, I've had this thing for a while, so I figured I'd do a 10-year ownership with this thing. But honestly, that's not even true, because I've actually had it spring of 04. I'm filming this in fall of, or excuse me, spring of 14, and filming this here in the fall of 25. So actually 11 and a half years. So anyway, the old Cobalt SS. This was a car I always really wanted. I thought they were cool that GM was doing a tuner type car that actually had some pretty legit power and came with a power adder. The original ones obviously were supercharged. I think the turbo is just that much better, a lot more potential. But yeah, so that spring I decided I was going to get one, and I found this local here in Colorado. It had 40, kind of guessing here, doing this all off memory, but I think it had about, I don't know, 45,000 miles, something like that on it. And at that point it would have been a, do the math, what did I say, it's 2009 model, is 14, so 5 years old, depending on when it's actually delivered. So kind of normal for mileage. And the story I got and the information I had is this was original car, kind of kept by someone who didn't do anything to it, and then was sold to another person who tinkered with it a bit, put some stuff on it. Because I actually saw this car for sale probably about 6 months before I bought it, advertised, and had some modifications on it. I can't remember exactly, exhaust, different wheels. It's been so long, I can't remember. There's a few different things done to it. Might have had coilovers or something. But then that person, the second owner, sold it to a dealership, or maybe they traded in on some other purchase or whatever. And I actually bought it from kind of like a performance used car dealer here in Colorado. So anyway, yeah, so that was 11 and a half years ago. But in that time, this thing's gone through a few phases, as in it was a daily driver, then it sat, and then it kind of came back to life, and then its current iteration of modifications going on to it. But if you can see from the video, she's not the cleanest. As I walk around the driver's side rear here, oh gosh, a ways back, I can't even remember what I was doing, but scraped a trailer against the corner. That was me. I do have a spare. Yeah, I'm kind of an idiot. Bunch of red cars here, but that's another Cobalt SS. That's an 08. I did a video on that one because some of the issues with this one, I was going to because I like the car, but I wanted a cleaner one, so I bought that one thinking it was cleaner. Long story short, it's not. So I'm kind of robbing the parts off one and the other. But anyway, that thing's got about 140, 150,000 miles. It's actually a bit rougher, so there's plans for that, but it's a little bit different. So anyway, back to this one. I've been stealing some parts. Well, I should clarify. After owning this for 3.5 years, somewhere around there, it got some pretty big hail damage. Stupid Colorado. Some of it you can see on camera. If I kind of move the camera around a little bit, with the light and the reflection, you can probably see some of it, but it got hammered pretty bad. Hood, roof, trunk. There's some areas on the side, like there's a, let me see if I can point out here. There's a ding on the driver's door there. There's one on the passenger side. Yeah, that was so frustrating. That was part of the reason why the car sat for a bit. So currently the car has the rear trunk with the wing and the hood from that guy with the other ones on there. And this was a totally different thing when I scraped this, but I'll probably, because that's pretty good shape, I'll probably take the rear bumper trim on that, put it on this one to kind of fix it. But anyway, that's general exterior. And this thing's dirty. It's still got some tree sap and everything on it. But yeah, so I guess summarizing ownership here. Purchased it, and I think about 3 or so years, drove it. Didn't do a lot of modifications. It did come with, trying to think, an exhaust. It had a ZZ Performance catback exhaust. That was about it. I think the rest of the performance stuff were probably taken off whatever it had originally. Came with these wheels, although they were really poorly painted black. So one of the things I did is I took the wheels off and tires off, and I actually had them powder coated, kind of like a half matte, like a semi-gloss, kind of in between black. I know some people like black, some people don't. I think it looks good in the red car. So anyway, did that a while ago, actually pretty early on. Otherwise, kind of just drove it. I think the only other little thing I did with it was I put a K&N intake on it. So really it was a stock car with 40, 50,000 miles, and I obviously had more as I drove. But with the wheels done, I guess technically it had different type, had drilled and slotted rotors, but they don't really do much. But anyway, intake and exhaust, that was kind of it. It wasn't tuned or anything. It may have been tuned previously, but when I owned it, it wasn't. So that was the first few years. And then, like I said, unfortunately, about 3.5 years into ownership, it got the hail damage. And it was just so frustrating because insurance wouldn't do much out here. And long story short, I drove it for a bit more, and then I eventually just kind of parked it. I didn't want to sell it because I always wanted one of these cars, and I figured someday I'll do something with it. I ended up buying, what did I have? I'm trying to think. I'm doing this all from memory here. I should have wrote something down. But, so 17, 18, somewhere, I think it was 2018, I bought a Dodge Challenger. It was 2015, whatever, the kind of halfway through the Challengers when they did the mid-cycle refresh. I think it was a 15 or 16 maybe. It was a couple years old. Just an RT, but it wasn't manual. I bought one of those, and that was kind of a daily driver for a little bit, but I don't know. Those cars are big and heavy, and yeah, they make a lot of power, but anyway, I only owned that for about a couple years. I ended up selling that. I actually bought a 1LE. Is that what I did? Yeah, I bought a 1LE Camaro SS, which was a way better car. But anyway, in doing all that, this poor guy kind of sat for a bit. I mean, it never was like tucked away in a corner and never driven, but I mean, realistically, it was rarely driven for a very long time. So I guess after I sold the, I'm trying to think, after I sold the 1LE Camaro, I didn't really have a traditional daily driver anymore. Believe it or not, I was using that Camaro as a daily driver, and man, I got so many cars. But what I decided to do then was kind of bring this guy back out. So came back out and started tinkering with it again. I think at some point I bought that car. I've done the replacement of the hood and the trunk, like I said. The rest of the hail damage, unfortunately, still here. But then I started doing more modifications. I put a ZZP downpipe on it. I got just a basic tune for it. What else have I done? More recently, I've done coilovers, rear sway bar. Probably more things I'm forgetting. The interior is still mostly stock. I mean, it is the red on red combo, and it's very dirty at the moment. But yeah, it doesn't even have a short throw shifter. I actually have the parts and stuff to put one in, but I haven't even done that yet. And just to confirm, I just saw it pop up. It has just over 100,000 miles on it. So that is a 16-year-old car with 100,000 miles. Not too bad. But yeah, interior is the red and black, basically stock in here. Heck, it still has, from the previous owner, the old school ZZ Performance logo and sticker they put over there. I never took it off. But, so, yeah, that's the basics of what this car is, and it kind of got me into Ecotechs and all this stuff. I mean, gosh, now I have a bit of problem. I currently own, admitting this, 4 Cobalts, plus a Sonic, potentially selling. What else? Oh, over there, the newer purchased, this guy, which I really like. That one's a bit of a beater, but I really like it in general. And that is the cousin to this car, the rear-wheel drive convertible version, Pontiac Solstice, same basic engine. Yeah, so I guess I have 4, 5, 6, I don't know, 6, 7 Ecotechs. I have an engine I'm working on. I have a race engine. I got some other spare stuff. And anyway, a lot of Ecotech stuff. But this guy, as far as plans and what to do, I guess still working on cosmetics. Talked about this, fixing this. I don't know if we'll ever really fix all the hail damage. Maybe someday I'll try to find a cleaner one of these and build up that. And then this guy, who knows, I don't know where it'll go. But yeah, as far as other future plans as far as performance, though, I don't think I'm doing anything crazy with the engine. Maybe get a better tune at some point if I tinker with it a little bit more. But with the K&N intake, stock internals, KO4 turbo, stock, then a complete exhaust from there. I don't know, low 300s is probably all you can really expect out of them. That's probably close to what it is making now. I'm sure it could get a little bit more. I do have all the intercooler stuff at some point to put on. It's still a stock intercooler. That's a good kind of durability modification, not immediate performance, but if you're actually using the car for a while. But otherwise, I mean, there's, like, I don't know if you can tell, it's hard to tell here, but that windshield's all cracked up. I'm gonna get that fixed here actually pretty shortly, because that's a pain to drive with. But anyway, yeah, this is kind of the OG LNF, the OG Cobalt, the OG Ecotech, whatever you want to call it for me. It's been one of the earlier cars I filmed, I think, on the channel, and probably more things to come. Oh, I'm just looking at it right now. I was thinking about getting black headlights. Never was a huge fan of all that chrome. Those are pretty simple. Might do that. But yeah, I think a car that's, I don't know what, around 3,000 pounds, makes around 300 wheel horsepower. It's a pretty good combination. I'm currently running Firestone, I think 8,500 tires. They're mid-okay tires. I can't remember. I think I got a really good deal on them when I bought them. Tires are so critical for a car. See what I get for my next round. If it's not something you drive every day and it's a performance vehicle, spend the money and get good tires, because it's really worth it. But anyway, this is, I'll call this 10 years of ownership, but it's really 11 and a half for me. There's probably not a lot of people who have 10 plus years in the Cobalt, because let's be honest, This is more of an economy car. So a lot of people kind of cycle through these. They maybe own them for a few years, and they move on to something else. I've just been the weirdo who's kept it for so long. But I will say, for owning this for as long as I have, the Cobalt and the Cobalt SS are very different vehicles. Obviously, visually, they look the same, more or less. But the drivetrain really changes this car. The basic Cobalt is just kind of okay vehicle, but the engine, transmission, the suspension tuning, even the stock form, really is really good for what it is. And styling, I don't know. Some people complain that it was like a little too understated or conservative or whatever. I actually like that, because that means it's going to look good for a long time. When you get these more specific, weirder, wilder designs, heck, I got a 70s Corvette sitting here, technically designed in the 60s, but I mean, this car is, I like it, it's cool, but let's be honest, it's very dated to a certain time period. This is much more of a neutral styling that kind of carries over for all. I mean, got the Jeep over there. I mean, yes, it's a very unique look, but that's been a look for forever. I got my, just going through the vehicles, my WRX over there. I mean, that's a 24, basically a new one. I mean, that's going to be a time period specific WRX. That's always going to be, oh, that's a 2000s or 2020 era WRX, not like the 2000s or 2010s, whatever. So I don't know. When it comes to styling, I always liked it. And must still like it if I still have all these. So anyway, I could keep blathering on, but the known faults, I mean, everyone kind of knows. The interior design, I think, is good. Material, but nothing's really cracked. I will say that on mine. The material may be harder plastic and things like that, but really nothing's broken. Seats have held up pretty good. Exterior wise, well, hail damage. Otherwise, it would have been more or less decent as well. So, you know, for what these were when they were built, the cost, I think they're pretty good. So I would say, you know, if you're interested in a small, inexpensive performance vehicle, these get way overlooked, which is kind of a shame, because I think they're really good. So anyway, I think I just blabbered on here for 15 minutes talking about the car and what I've done and what I want to do. But obviously I have the other Cobalts. I have the Pro Front car, which is a long-term project. I could throw an engine in that, but I think I got the transmission figured out. But that one will be a while before it sees racing, maybe next year. But the other one, the other Cobalt's kind of like a parts vehicle. And then I got the Phase 5 one I recently purchased. That will be out in the track as soon as, probably springtime. It needs a tune bad. But anyway, if you like Cobalts and you're weird like me, and there's plenty of that on this channel. So, but otherwise, we got the Vet, Jeep, my old trucks. Done a lot with WRX, more to come on that. The new toy is the Solstice. That's been fun, but definitely a lot more of that as well, and plenty of other things. So a lot more to come. But Cobalts, highly recommend. And they didn't make that many SSs either. So unfortunately, with their age, they're getting rarer and harder to find clean ones. But if you do, I'd buy it. I recommend it. So anyway, I think that's it for now. Weather is going to start to get cold here soon, but I'm trying to kind of prep for able to do more work throughout the winter, because that's always been an issue, is when the cold weather gets here, I'm kind of stuck. Despite having the garage here, it's not the best suited for a lot of car wrenching. So anyway, but I think I'm done. So a lot more to come, but thanks for watching. See you in the next one.